and it like uncurled itself. But happy Tuesday. I was about to say Friday. I'm like, what day is it? What time is it? Where are we? What is happening? Um, I wanted to come on here and talk about money worship. Oh, they did a little something, okay? I wanted to come on here and talk about money worship and something that I've navigated and I feel like a lot of people do in this reality. But I feel like our world is so money centric and so money focused that hold on, sometimes it's really easy to get like sucked in to the money vortex, I'll call it, and to even get stuck in a space of comparison or like thinking about, income and how you want to be making more and almost like obsessing about it. And I'm not saying that's necessarily, these aren't things I'm necessarily like endorsing that are coming from me, but just a collective experience I've observed. Um, and what's been coming through lately is that there has to be a certain detachment from fixating on these things. There has to be a certain level of um, detachment. How do I say this? Detachment and respect at the same time. It is such an interesting juxtaposition, if that's the right word, but you have to start creating a relationship with money to where you're honoring it. Even though I like to look at it as a neutral object, a neutral thing. Hi, welcome. I think money is a neutral resource, it's a tool. I feel like it's a neutral thing, but sometimes we attach an emotional charge to it. And what I'm starting to realize is when you start to see money as just a neutral tool or resource that you can use to exchange for goods and services, it helps you, it liberates you, it just truly transforms your life. I would say when you begin to accept that that's really all it is and kind of detach from like worshiping it, like putting it on a pedestal, fixating about it, fixating on where you're gonna get it, fixating on how much you're wanting and things like that. And fixating it isn't the same as having goals and aspirations. It's okay to say, I desire to make this amount of money because it'll give me this life. I desire to experience or have this amount of money because it'll align me with where I feel I deserve to be. It'll give me the comfort that I deserve to have in my life. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here. I think when it becomes like a worship thing, and I'm using quotes because I don't mean worship like church, but I guess this word comes from like a religious context. But what I mean is when you start to put it on a pedestal to where it's almost like running your life, but it's a very disconnected relationship. Instead of letting money have like a presence in your life, and instead of allowing it to flow and guide your reality and your experience, it kind of just is running the show and you're on autopilot. So, what do I mean by that? It's really important as you develop a relationship with money to create a budget, really, really, really establish a connection with money, a relationship with money. Again, this is just a neutral resource, but it wants to know where to go, it wants to know where to flow. So you have to create a budget so it knows where it's going. And this is something that I've been really, trying to work on in my own life. And there's moments or days where I'm like, ugh, I feel like this budget is like restricting me. I feel like I'm like anxious a little bit because I'm like, I don't want to go over my budget for the month or whatever, the week, whatever, or the day. But I also know I need to have it. And so I kind of teeter between like, I know this is good for me, but why do I feel like anxious? I think for me, it stems from throughout my life, I've had different relationships with money. I feel like there's been seasons where I was like, okay, let me create a budget. And then for whatever reason, I think a lot of it was my own internal nervous system. I wasn't in a space to really appreciate that. So it was harder for me to stay grounded in it and want to even like show up for that and show up for myself in that way. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Hello, I know you're not the popular, but keep going, make your dreams come true. Hello, beautiful. Thanks, guys. If you resonate, definitely like, subscribe, and share this with a friend. That helps me reach more people on here. Thanks for being here, guys. Thank you for subscribing. Yes, so, and yes, I guess I'm not like popular on YouTube, but I feel like I'm reaching the people I'm meant to, and that's what matters to me. Whoever I'm meant to reach through the journey of this, I will. But yeah, so I think for me, I realized that your nervous system state, it impacts how you manage money, and also your awareness impacts it. So you might be kind of like an intense person and you go through different anxieties throughout your day. But if you have a certain awareness and you have worked on your nervous system, you'll start to realize that this process is easier. Managing our money is our responsibility. As we navigate adulthood and the different journeys of adulthood, I've learned this, and I'm sure other people have, but responsibility is a top priority. Responsibility to your finances, responsibility to your commitments, responsibility to your job, to your family, friends, your loved ones, whatever. That is a top priority, and it is a huge responsibility. When we are not seeing it as that, there's an awareness shift or perspective shift that hasn't clicked in just yet. And you might be aware of it, but you might just not be in a space yet in your nervous system to fully appreciate it. Sometimes you have to go through things and fall on your face a few times and let life kind of hit you upside the head a couple times before you realize, like, okay, I actually need to be focused and prioritize. Um, but yeah, God, I've been just speaking to God more, and I have these days where I'm like, I want to grow my YouTube channel, and I really want to like grow my following on here, and I just want to, I have these like visions that I think honestly social media influences a lot of these things, which is why I haven't really been on social media as much, other than of course YouTube. But I used to be on all the other platforms a lot more, and I just try not to anymore. But I feel like social media paints a picture of what success looks like, of what it means to, this keeps happening, guys. I keep coming in here with the lighting, what success looks like, what success is actually supposed to physically manifest as. And I'm trying to unsubscribe from that. I feel like success is that you're healthy, happy, and whole on the inside. And wholeness is a journey we're constantly going toward, you know, healing and working on ourselves. But I would say too, just also, oh, someone said something. Someone said something. Oops, excuse me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Thank you so much.